So to this point, I have paid tens of thousands of dollars to learn the information that I'm gonna give you for free in this video. Yeah, for free. Like, I have nothing to sell you, just 1 hour and a half pure information and knowledge about building a personal brand and an online coaching business. Now, if you're a beginner, this is gonna be really helpful for you. Also, if you're making $5,000 to $10,000 a month from social media and online coaching, it's still gonna be helpful for you to scale to 20, 30, 50K a month. So you're pretty much gonna learn all the systems and behind the scenes of how you actually build a brand in a way where you just magically get leads flowing in your DMs, pretty much saying, I'm ready to buy your program and how much it costs. So if you don't have at least like an hour to just sacrifice from your life to learn this stuff, like, you're just not gonna make it in business. I'm just telling you, I'm being honest. If you can't even focus and watch a boring video for 1 hour, you have no chance in business. Just listen, put some headphones, and actually focus, because this will be more helpful than most coaches that you're thinking of buying their program. So yeah, enjoy the video and see you there. But yeah, so pretty much the whole goal is for me to guys show you the Instagram and like how I was able to just build my Instagram, and then Lyndon is gonna be the guy who's gonna show you the YouTube, because obviously I wouldn't say I'm that good at YouTube. Most of the traffic that I get to my YouTube channel obviously just come from my Instagram. So I wouldn't say I'm good at YouTube, so that's why it's just a good combination. Lyndon is gonna teach you the YouTube part, and I'm gonna teach you just the Instagram part overall. So when you guys have both things, there's like no way you can build your brand, because yeah, you can do it. Like, for example, Lyndon mainly done it from his YouTube and he's very successful. I have mainly done it from Instagram, so it's not like you need both, but if you have both, it's just way better. It doesn't matter if you have a small brand or a big brand. So that's why it's just gonna be a good combination to just learn both things. But mainly we just talk about just online coaching. It doesn't matter if it's business coaching or if somebody's doing fitness coaching, it's the same thing. You just change how it would be. So it works for everybody. Might be giving some examples mainly specifically to like fitness things, but it's literally the same thing. There's not a big difference when it comes to business coaching. So the first thing, obviously, I'll just start a little bit more simple for like the guys who are new, because not everybody is already doing that. So it will just be just finding your niche. This will be the number one thing that will determine your success in the beginning, because I just see a lot of you guys in the beginning, you just don't have a specific direction of who you're targeting, what's your niche, nothing. You just start posting and it's not very clear. So the more clear you can get with who exactly you're targeting, the faster you'll start getting views and even making money. So you can't really be given a specific niche, because your specific niche is you at the end of the day. If someone applies a niche to you, your content will just seem unauthentic. Like, I can't just say, okay, you'll be filming about that, and if you don't have the context, it wouldn't really work. So the most successful coaches you see or personal brands are the ones of people who just document their day-to-day life. So the weird things they like, their interests, what they think about, and the times their honest journey and their whole story, pretty much. So there's millions of people who fuck with your personality and the things that you like or the things that you don't like. Some of these things, they might become, the people who don't like some of these things, they might start liking them just because they like you and your personality. Because at the end of the day, like, people just buy from people they like. So it's not that much about exactly what are you gonna say or exactly you need to be some genius. If you're just somebody that people like, they'll be way likely to buy from you. So you might be here with already some followers or somebody with some viral videos, or no idea how to continue growing your account or to make money from that. So in both ways, either you start with somewhere with 0 followers. Like, either way, if you follow this system that I'm just gonna give you, you'll make good money. So the golden rule here is to just have context. That's why in the beginning I say your niche can't really be given, because context, it's always way better than the message itself. It doesn't matter exactly what you're gonna talk. I can be speaking here about trading all day, but if you guys know that I have never made money from trading, like, nobody would listen. It doesn't matter how smart things I say. Same thing for Lyndon. If he was not successful in YouTube, nobody would listen. If I didn't have my Instagram page, nobody would listen. So context is always the number one thing. Either with fitness, if you're jacked, the better shape you get, people will just listen because you have context. So you need to just live what you speak. So that's also a thing I see with the fitness or with the business guys. Just start doing something and they just slowly stop doing their teachings. They don't apply what they're teaching. Let's say that's something that I started doing with the fitness coaching. I stopped really taking fitness serious. I stopped eating healthier and all these things. And then at the same time, I'm teaching all these things. So you need to really like live what you speak. It doesn't matter if it's a business. If you teach business coaching, you need to just, in reality, do the same business that you're teaching. Like, I'm, doing what I'm really teaching. So it's not necessarily the message and what you talk about. that counts. It's the context behind the statement that is the most valuable. The things that makes my videos valuable is that I'm fully qualified to speak on this topic, and I was literally going to exact, process I was teaching, so I was able to create content and educate my audience based on wins and losses and just tell stories of my own situation. Most people fell short just talking about things they don't even apply to their own situation. All you have to do is just document your journey, really. People will follow you because they relate. You're relatable, you're authentic, not because you went viral flexing or just because you have some muscles or whatever. So, when I was building my personal brand, the context of my videos was valid and rooted in the life that I was living. And even still now, I still do the same. You don't want to talk about, this is how you make money when you haven't made any money, or this is, you don't want to talk also about this is why you need to get in shape and track your macros if you're not tracking your macros yourself. So, creating the context is just everything really. And so start with just talking about what you have done or currently doing. Who you are is just what's your story, because your specific niche is you at the end of the day. So you need to really live what you speak. That's why I'm waking up early. You guys see my stories, or just eating healthy, or whatever I'm showing, I'm just making sure whatever I'm teaching and I'm trying to show to people, I'm actually doing myself, and I just don't stop doing it, because then the connection is just gonna stop. There's gonna be no context anymore. So that's gonna be the first thing when it comes to just your niche. The second thing is just how you speak matters. Because I see a lot of people, I can give you all the tips and tricks, and Lyndon also, but if you're super boring and if you don't have much confidence speaking in front of the camera and all these things, it will just not work, And in the beginning, most people, they just don't think learning how to speak a little bit better. It is a skill that you can learn. Obviously, for me, English is not my main language, but I still somehow managed to, do a good job. Obviously, there's still way more room to improve. But, how you speak, it's very important. So don't focus in the beginning on the flashy stuff like cars, lifestyle, etc. You don't need this to just build your brand and to make money. All the top coaches online speak really good, fluently and confidently. So fill your words with emotion, so people can feel your passion and actually understand what you're trying to talk about. I see a lot of you guys just talk oh guys, this is how you get in shape, or this is how I made money. It's there's no passion, there's no energy in whatever you're trying to speak, either on your stories or your YouTube videos, on your reels. Maybe you're not in the right mood or whatever, I don't know, but I very rarely see people actually speaking with more confidence and just putting emotion in the way they speak. So that's the thing. You can look smart, but as soon as you open your mouth, you can become stupid. Or you can look stupid or broke, for example, if you don't come from a good background. But as soon as you open your mouth, you become smart, and people just start to listen. That's why if you guys seen probably so many guys with some Wambos and rent and things in Dubai, it's if they just don't really speak fluently and well, it's you're just this guy's maybe a scammer. Or you can see the same guy in the same Wambo, but he just speaks good, and it just automatically you just believe him. So it's just a very good skill. Also, this way you don't need the Wambo, you don't need the flashy lifestyle. You can start in your mother's bedroom to make videos, really. And if you speak well, you will have results. It's not you need the flashy and the good setup and the cameras and all these edits and things. If you speak good, which is something which is free, it doesn't cost you anything to learn it. You can, that can be the thing in the beginning that you can use. So that's why the lifestyle, this is literally a skill that will directly make you more money. Not much people focus on that, but you just have a massive ROI. So when you develop the skill, you're just instantly going to be viewed as way much of a higher status, easily understandable and listened to. So this is how to, not be boring as fuck on your content. So this goes really for everything. You can have the best setup again in the world, the most expensive cameras and the editors and, the most expensive things. But, if your content is boring, like watching grass grow, it's never really going to perform. So there's countless of things that you can do to make your content more engaging. Working for out is, it's just a simple muscle. It's a skill that you can build over time, and you can just really get better. So it just requires repetition. So tonality, pacing, body language, all these things are important. So I'll give you a quick thing of when you speak. It's usually it's good to follow some type of a kind of a guide. If you read a book or if you watch a movie or anything, any story, any reel, any YouTube video you make, it's good to have some type of a story. Even if it's 30 or 60-second story on Instagram, if you follow something like that, for example, the first thing is there's going to be some character who faces a problem. So instead of just being okay, this is guys how you make money, or this is how you get in shape, you can just say, okay, a couple years ago, when I used to be skinny, or a couple of years ago when I was working at McDonald's and I wasn't making money. So you just create the character. Then you had that problem of being broke or being insecure or in shape. Then you just meet a guy, which is pretty much the guide is your coaching, it's your offer. Then from there you just, the guide helps you to give you a plan that leads you to taking action, and that either leads you to just, the success story, the end result, or at least that helped you avoid failure. Because humans, they either want the success and the good life, or they just want to avoid failure. That's the main thing. So, mainly it's just you have, a problem. Then from there you find the guide, which is your coaching, which leads to taking action that leads to success, or just help you avoid failure. So it's you, problem, guide, taking action, success. That's really like a simple structure that you can follow in literally everything. For YouTube, it can be a little bit more complicated, but even in like super short stuff, like it can be a 40-second story. It's way better if you make it, in a way like that. It's just so easy, but once you remember it in your head, every time you start speaking, you just kind of go through that, and it's just way better for people to understand and to just relate way more, rather than just telling them exactly what you have done. You can just tell them what you've done in a form of like a quick story, So most, again, things should follow a similar structure. So brand direction, your first videos, if you're a beginner, or even if you're not, if you feel you haven't done much of that, but if you're starting your brand, mainly your first video should just be mainly focused on telling your story and just building an audience. Don't even think about, trying to get new clients yet, or just trying to make money. Just strictly focus on trying to provide as much value as possible and just gain attention on Instagram and YouTube, just telling your story, give value to people. So I can give you a quick example. I don't know if it's gonna open, but pretty much this is just a video of me just talking about how I'm from Bulgaria, how I used to work for like $700 a month, and I moved to Thailand. There's another video that I'm talking how I moved to Thailand with my savings and all this stuff. There's before that, when I was doing fitness coaching, I was, talking about how I was always the skinniest kid in my classroom, how people used to beat me, just make fun of me and stuff like that. So it's always in the beginning when you start either with anything, just tell your story, tell your background, focus mainly on that in speaking. I see most people, they just post like photos, like looking jacked or just looking rich. It's good, you can do it, but in the beginning, just focus more on the brand direction to just make sure you just tell your story and just speak about your story and just give value about how you went from here, you just talk about that. And in the middle, it's pretty much the value that you just give for free. So what to talk about, literally, because I see a lot of you guys like, Alex, how you make like 20, 30 stories a day. If you watch my stories, you probably see like I make so much stories every day. And then it's probably so hard for you to make even 5 stories. So you don't even know like what to talk about. So usually you just need to talk about the same things. That's really the secret. You just talk about the same 5 stories that, and you just keep the same energy, passion, and conviction. So I even told to you today, it's like you just list down and just get a piece of paper and just list down like 5 stories. For example, for him, it was that he was in the system. First you went to the military for a couple of years, then you went studying, and you realize how you've been your whole life pretty much wasting it in the system, and you just didn't want to live that life anymore. That's why you started with building your brand. That was the first thing. The second thing was that you say you're traveling a lot. You'd say that you didn't when you travel, you lose muscle, you can retain your shape. So that's another thing. Now you can target people who are, let's say, travelers who want to get in shape. So you niche down more. You say you were used to drink a lot, you cut that addiction. So it doesn't matter like what is it, just repeat the 5 same stories. It can be some addiction. Let's say like you already say something about you used to do like mushrooms and like weed, and like you combine like 5 different drugs. So that is a good story. There's nothing bad about like whatever you've done. I think the worst possible background you have, the better. Like I wish I've done even worse things. I've never really been like a drug addict or anything like that. But I wish, to be honest, it would be even a better stories to tell. But that's why I just list down like 5 stories. Maybe one of like addictions, one of like what made you at the beginning get in shape, what pushes you, how you felt like that. Maybe one of kind of like a success in terms of like you used to not have money or whatever. It doesn't matter if you're in the fitness or not. It can be different type of stories. It can be something that it's even like, let's say you, I don't know, you had like a breakup and that you learned something from the breakup, whatever is it. It doesn't only need to be something related to like fitness or business. So just repeat the same 5 stories, the same 5 topics that your audience respond the best to over and over again. So when it comes to the stories, you can't really play much around that because it's just your own unique stories. You can make them better. You can make them sound more entertaining than in reality. When it comes to topics, here it's a little bit, you can play more, you can talk about different topics. For example, like Casper, he's talking about how, he's just always like making people be so, he's saying if you're broke, you're like nothing or something like that. So you like to make people talk about money, how if you're broke, you're nothing, and if you're seen gaining attention, it's like, ah, shit, that's a good topic, I should double down on that. Or maybe you talk something about dating and how you should be with multiple girls or whatever. Like, that's why you see most of these guys talking about some crazy shit, is because they've seen that this topic just gains them attention. So that's why they just keep talking about the same thing. If it's something else, maybe you're just a guy who just talks how you only want to, you just never really want to smoke weed anymore, and there's a lot of your followers, you know, on your stories, oh boy, I used to be also whatever. You just, whatever you see a topic that you talk about that your audience respond the best over and over again, just remember that when you watch your story or review, okay, why did I say this? Why did I respond better? And just remember it, and just have like 5 topics that you already seen your audience respond better, 5 of your own stories, and just literally repeat the same shit every fucking single day. You can, if you have 5 stories, you go, Monday, you talk about your one story. Tuesday, you talk about your second, third story, fourth story, fifth story. And once you're at like Friday, you already start again from the first one. People, they just forget so easy. Like, you'll be surprised how many times people need to like hear the same story to actually remember it. Like, most of you guys here probably watch so many of my stuff, you probably still don't know my story. So that's the thing, is that people just need to hear the same thing so many times. And until you go to the one story and then you come back, they already forget it, so they just need to constantly repeat. Same thing with topics. And if you see the biggest brands and guys, they just all talk about the same shit, just over and over again. So the person who can repeat himself with the most amount of passion, conviction, and energy will make the most money. So when you talk about the same topics and stories, it's not only that you always have something to talk about, but also you get better at telling them. You get a little bit, you know, you're gonna tell it in a better way. Now, instead of just focusing on the story itself, you can focus on telling it with more emotion, with more passion. You can, you know, go straight to the point, make it sound more entertaining or whatever. So repeating the same things, it's really like the secret. You don't need to, you know, every single time come up with some crazy idea. Probably like you, let's say when you do YouTube videos, you pretty much make the same things. You just kind of like change the background, or you change the thumbnail or the title, but it's pretty much the same things in every.
Repeat the same information.
Yeah, you repeat the same things, you know. So that's really, that's why when I see somebody, what should I talk about? And I mean, what you have talked about at this point, just repeat the same thing and just get better at repeating it pretty much. So that's really the secret. So why, again, people need to hear something way more times than you think. With the time you're repeating something so many times, you will make it, you know, better, shorter, easier to understand, and way more relatable. And, you know, you never know when that person is always going to need this video or that story. So when you repeat the same things, let's say you had addictions with weed. On that day, maybe you said something about that, but that specific person didn't really had any problem, whatever. But maybe on that day, let's say Friday night, whatever, he was in some mood, something bad happened to him and he needed that story. If you just missed that day and you didn't talk about that story or whatever, like, you would just potentially miss a client, because he is now in this specific mood where it's just so easy, he's in like emotional state to just get a reply from him on the story and just book him for a call or close him. I've done that so many times. Somebody just sends me a thing, I just book him for a call like 30 minutes after that, you know, because I know he's now in the mood. Like, that same thing also, it goes for like, when somebody sends you a message on Instagram or on your stories, on your CTAs or whatever, just try to get back to him as fast as possible. And if you can, just book if you can, ask him, are you free right now? If he's yes, just send him to one of your closers, or just take the call on the spot. I think it's always better, because he just messaged you about coaching, so he's probably in the best place. Or worst case, just try to do it the next day. If you leave a big spam of couple of days, I think it's really not, you know, it's not a bad idea. So get a piece of paper and just write down the best stories and just testing. Start making a lot of, you know, stories on, you know, different topics, and pay attention on which topics your people react the most. Then just focus on making more of them. So usually 3 to 5 topics is enough, and you just have 3 to 5 stories personal. So actually, when it comes to what to talk about, is the same thing. So content marketing, this is where pretty much the magic happens. This is how you can, you know, in a way, like, get leads that just in a magical way just falls in your DMs and just want to buy. It's because, you know, you have done all the sales in your content, instead of just then trying on the sales cow to like, please bro, buy my stuff. You have done all the sales. If you know how to make your stories right, your reels or your YouTube videos in a way, you really done all the selling on your content. So they're just pretty much coming to you to just join and just give you money. That's really what is the whole goal. Not to then have such a long sales cow and, you know, make sure that they have no idea what's going on. They don't trust you. You know, obviously you're still gonna get leads like that, whatever. But that's the whole point, is just to make sure the content marketing is really good. So only talk about how bad things used to be and how good life is now. That's the first thing. Never talk about the middle, really. your daily content is the middle, so you just show really the middle. And the third thing is you're selling them the final result. You're selling them the end goal or whatever. So when I say never talk about the middle, it means like, you just talk how bad life used to be, how your life good is now. In the middle, it's really, instead of just talking, you just show it. You just show the grind, you show the wake-ups, you show you're working, you show the workouts, you give them the value, the knowledge that you needed, the skills that you needed, and all these things. So I'll give you first thing, this is the story. That's like when I say only talk about the things how things bad used to be and how life good is now. It's the story. So storytelling about your beginning, how bad things were for you, exactly how you felt at that moment, bad habits you had, addictions, and just mistakes that you've made. That's the first thing. You just talk mainly about that. Then the second thing is just the middle, which is the value, pretty much your daily content, showing the middle and what got you there at the first place, what skills got you there, what knowledge, what habits, what way of thinking, what mindset, and etc. So the middle is literally just the content, pretty much. That's story, value, and just life, and the result, which is what, if they join your program, if they implement the middle, what they're gonna get. So give out the value for free on your content every day. Like, don't be scared of just giving too much value. That just simply doesn't exist. It doesn't matter in what niche you are. The more value you give, the better. If you can give out the free value for free, just do it. Like, you just sell pretty much the implementation. You just sell the step-by-step process, the accountability, the one-on-one access to the person. That's really what you sell. You don't sell the actual information. Just give it for free. Just sell the implementation, the accountability. They've paid you money. They will actually forward. There's a lot of aspects that even if they join your coaching and it's the same as your free course or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's, usually, like, if you can make a free course the same as your paid one, it's not bad. Just give out the free value for free. Show the results, and then that's the three things: the life, show the results, and the life that things too got you, which is your coaching, which is the value, which is the skills, which is your habits, which is all the things that you talk, which is the middle. The X results that your program can potentially achieve if they join, if they damn. So flex that result pretty much. That's why you see like all these you guys with the Versaces and all these things. So they're like talking about how, let's say, you used to be broke. Now the middle is talking about copywriting, which is the skill that you learned to now be able to work here with the Versace. So it's pretty much kind of the same thing, but if you understand it and if you follow it, it's just way better to just follow these things. Only talk about how bad things used to be and how good life is now. Never talk about the middle. Just show it, and your daily content is pretty much the middle, showing it, and you're setting the final results, the end goal. So that's pretty much it. So in the beginning, this is pretty quick. Just get the ball rolling if you're a beginner. Don't just overcomplicate what you're gonna sell. As a beginner, just mainly focus on the content, because don't overthink the fulfillment and the end of creating a program for months and like a coaching that nobody ends up buying, because the program is not really gonna help you get the first money, but the content will. So understand that you are the main product anyway. So when you do coaching, mainly you are the product. It doesn't matter how good is your course or whatever, this is important, but at the end of the day, people just want access to you, want to call with you, they want to speak to you, and they want one-on-one help with you. So when you just start, create something and just have it in mind that your fulfillment, your backend, and your product, it will develop with the time. You're gonna get better at your own skill as well. So you will make it so much more, that course or that app or whatever you're trying to do, or that training program, it will get so much better with the time anyway. So just try to make something so you can start selling, you can get feedback from your clients, how to make things better. So I just see a lot of you guys, you just start doing coaching and you just spend 6 months creating a program, and that's why when I create my product, then I'm gonna make content. It just doesn't really work like that. Just focus on the content first. Just create something for a couple of days to have, and just have in mind that you just keep making it better with the time. And just understand that you are the main product anyway when it comes to coaching. So now after a couple of sales and the money start coming in, focus on the fulfillment and just start upgrading it. Create systems to manage it easier, to fulfill the fulfillment, make it automations and all that stuff. But this is for later on, once the money start coming in. In the beginning, you don't need to have all these things to just start making 5, 10K a month, really, even 20, 30K a month. You don't need all this, crazy shit, to be honest. So 6, audience. So be very clear with your specific, clear and specific about who you're really targeting. Don't really try to win everybody as a client. That's how you end up making no money. So try to really niche down in the beginning as much as you can, win that niche, and then from there, if you want, potentially later on, you can extend. You know, you don't need to start with the beginning super broad. The more niche you can start, and then later, once you dominate that niche, then just move, and you can, you know, go to bigger markets if you want to. So target people that you know you can help the most, you know their problems the most. So what type of people you understand the most? That's why, for example, usually that's going to be you just a couple of years ago, because you had the same problems, you've been in exactly their shoes, so you know their problems the most. For me, because I've done fitness coaching, I just made the mistake to just help our type of guys to build their personal brand, which in reality I can. There's no difference between fitness coaching or business coaching. So that's what I was thinking, why don't I just take everybody? But that was a mistake. That's why I should, you know, and even now I'm just mainly targeting like fitness guys, because I've been a fitness guy myself my whole life. I hang around with a lot of these people, and I've been there, so I know exactly like how to, you know, help these people, not the most, but also I understand their problems the most because I've been in their shoes exactly, rather than somebody who's, you know, doing trading and I want to help him with selling his trading course. Like I still can, it's the same thing, but I'll just make less money. That's the reality. So try to just help the people you understand their problems the most. You can, you know, also make content for, and also the most important is like have the money to buy. Like that's also like, just make sure these people that you're gonna target, just think that do these people have money to buy, obviously. That's the end thing. So if they meet this matrix, usually that's like the easiest way to make your niche. Just who you can help the most in your life, who you understand their problems the best, and do these people have money? That's it. And maybe, you know, is it gonna be enjoyable for you to make this type of content for them? Because, you know, but that's not that important, I wouldn't say, no. Mainly it's just this, you know, 1, 2, and 4. So that's when it comes to the audience, content. So understand that the more content you post, especially, I don't know how it's on YouTube, Lyndon can say, but for Instagram, bro, the more you post, like the more money you make, the more, like, I don't know, how is it on YouTube? Can you say something?
It depends. It's more about just like, the more views you get, the more money you can potentially make, but you can there's multiple strategies. But for high production content, the less content you post, the better. Like in terms of, you want to prioritize quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Versus if you're doing more raw stuff, you want to prioritize quantity over quality.
That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, for YouTube, it's obviously takes way longer to make a video. For Instagram, when it comes to stories and reels, really, yeah, unless the content is so shit. But the thing is, there's no way. Like I sometimes even like post the most shit things, and they always even get more views than like even that it's like edited, that I've paid an editor to create the reel or whatever. Usually that's what happens. So to be honest, like even if you make high quality content, if you just make double the volume, the same quality, it will just be better. So at the end of the day, yeah, just the more content, more cash flow. There is a direct correlation between how many pieces of content you have on the internet and how much, you know, money you're going to make. If you look, you know, at everyone who is at a very top on this game and kind of like this the coaching space, they have posted thousands of times. Maybe if some of you guys knows, like Wes Watson, he's posted like almost 5,000 times. Like Bradley posted like 6,000 times. Like Grant Cardone, like 8,000 times, 9,000. I mean, this is just posts on Instagram. You know, this doesn't include TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all the other forums. This is just purely just posts on Instagram, like thousands of times. So that's also the good thing to understand, that the volume does most of the times. It's, you know, because I see a lot of you guys are showing me, it's like, Alex, can you see my content? And I just see it and it's good, you know, there's nothing really bad about it. You're just posting like 2 reels a week or something like that. Or you're just posting like 2 stories a day. So you just need to do more volume most of the time. So the bare mind, so, you know, that being said, at a bare minimum, you should be aiming for the following metrics. So this is kind of like a bare minimum, but I would recommend to do just double that. But yeah, TikTok, I'll just post like 2 times on TikTok, 1 reel, 1 YouTube short, 10 Instagram stories, and then maybe like around like, you know, well, that's like 2 YouTube videos a week. That's if you're a beginner, you just want to get into that things, think that's like a very like healthy amount. Just 2 YouTube videos a week, 10 Instagram stories a day. So weekly should be 70 Instagram stories, 2 YouTube videos a week, 7 shorts and reels, which usually, again, the reels and the shorts, you just pretty much replicate them. Whatever you post on reels, you post on YouTube shorts. And whatever you post on reels, you post on TikTok. I said one more TikTok. TikTok, the only good thing about this platform that I like is it's just good to test. So if you don't want to spam bullshit content on Instagram reels and stuff, you can just spam content on TikTok. And usually if your short form content goes well on TikTok, it will probably go well on reels, you know. So I usually like to TikTok, you might spam a little bit more raw stuff. to just test things, and then if whatever performs best, you can post it on Instagram. So that's why. So I would recommend you, if you really want to take the thing serious, like double that volume, to be honest. When it comes to the Instagram stories, post at least like 20 stories a day, 2 reels a day. So again, but maybe some of you guys, who are more beginners, it's just hard, I understand it. Total time someone should see your face on a monthly basis should be around like 500 times, to be honest. Again, I don't know where I come that from. It was something about Google or somebody told it to me. But, if your messaging is correct, even though like these things, like if you just calculate everything, if you post 2 TikToks, 1 reel, 1 YouTube short, 10 Instagram stories, and like 2 YouTube videos a week, like if you combine that monthly, it is around 500 times. So that volume actually, it doesn't take that much time. Maybe it takes you like 1 to 2 hours a day maximum to do. And if you double that, like people see your face like 1,000 times a month. So that's crazy, And it's not actually that much time if you follow a strategy, if you've done enough reps and you can do it easy, like it's nothing. Like I sometimes can post myself 5, 6 reels and like 30 stories. I can like even double that, the recommended. But, if your messaging is correct and your offer resonates with them, how would anyone, ignore you and not really buy if they see your face like 500 to 1,000 times a month? If you destroy all their objections with your content, and if you can repeat the same stories and call to actions and topics with the same confidence, energy, and passion, conviction, it's literally impossible for them to ignore you and not buy your offer. It's just a matter of when they're gonna buy. If not, they're gonna buy. So if you really follow that thing and you kind of have this system of posting stories, they watch your stories every day, then they go watch your YouTube videos, they watch 1 or 2 YouTube videos this week, they go back watching your stories, then they see some reels, then they go back to YouTube, and they're just in this system, they're just constantly seeing your face and hearing your voice. It's literally, if your content, like again, if your messaging is correct and your offer resonates, like it's a matter of time until they buy. Literally, there's no way they ignore you. Even if they might not have the money now, they'll have it in 3 months, in 6 months, in 1 year. I had people who are like, Alex, I've been following you for like 2 years, and then he joins my program. So just have that in mind. At some point, even if they don't have the money now, they will have money at some point in their life, and they will join, as long as, again, these matrices are matched. So when it comes to Instagram Reels, post just 2 of these a day. That's again what I recommend. 1 talking head and just 1 informative or just some type of edit. For example, like transformation or whatever, just whatever, and just 1 talking head is really good. So posting times doesn't really matter, as long as you, at least if you're gonna post 2 times a day, just make sure to have at least like 6 hours in between, or just post 1 time in the morning and 1 time at night. Usually I say somebody posts 2 times and they just post the 2 reels in like between like 10 minutes. It just doesn't make sense always. So just don't do that, just make sure it's at least 6 hours. Instagram stories, using IG story flow, should be posting at least like 10 stories a day bare minimum. Remember, the stories are where the most money is made, on Instagram mainly. So once the system is complete, your consistency with your stories shows your consistency as a coach as well. So, you want to have as many emotional associations and just connection with them as possible. And to do that, you must be always just posting and, cater to what the viewer is needing to rely on. So for example, like it can be something so simple. It's like, that's why stories are so good, because you just have so many different like touching points and associations and connections. Let's say somebody is watching Lyndon and he's like, shit, Lyndon is really good in YouTube, but he's watching another guy in his competition who is also really good at YouTube. So he's like, shit, which one should I join? Because they're both talking about the same things. They both look like they know what they're talking about. And most of the times the guys maybe, shit, should I join this guy or this guy? But let's say Lyndon shown on his stories his dog, and the guy have the same dog, the same, and then he'll be like, shit, well, you have the same dog like me or whatever. And now there's another association and connection. He's way likely to just buy from Lyndon. So that's why sometimes, like for me, let's say I moved to Thailand, and then the guy also moved to Thailand, or he also likes Thailand. That's like another association that maybe like there's another personal brand coach or a fitness coach that he likes, but the guy is not living in Thailand, but I am. So it's just examples, but it can be millions of other things. It doesn't matter. So that's why Instagram stories are just so good, to just show so many different aspects that usually you would never do on YouTube or even on your Reels, to be honest. So that's why, I like Instagram stories. And it just doesn't really take any time, to be honest. So brand direction, your first video should just be mainly focusing on just telling your story, building your audience. Don't even think about, I think we already talked about it. I don't know why I repeat it. So I don't know if I can show you examples. Let's see. Nah. Maybe. Just probably just talk here about how I moved to Thailand. So it's something like that. So I just talk about my journey. I show my YouTube channel how I documented everything, how I was not even able to speak English a year ago and stuff like that. So that's kind of like what your first YouTube videos should be about. It's just literally just telling about your story, what you have done, and just giving value. Literally, that's the first thing. So just try to speak more and tell your story. When it comes to like Reels Blueprint, that's really what I do, that I personally follow. So let's say you post again like 1 reel a day, which I recommend 2. If it's 2, you do the same thing, you just double it. You just double the volume. There's no difference. Either you do 1 or 2 or even 5 reels a day, you just 5x the same volume. So what I do, let's say, just give you an example of 7 reels a week, just once a day. It's just more easy to understand. So you do just 3 talking reels, 2 transformation reels, and just 2 lifestyle reels. So when I say to talking, that just means just giving value in your niche, motivational talk, or a call to action, talk about your coaching, your product, and how you can help people, or just, you know, a story of how you help somebody else or something like that. Just anything, just talking, you speaking with your voice. It doesn't matter if it's from a podcast, if it's just like a head talking video, whatever, it's just something with your voice speaking. Another thing is transformation reels, which is that type of reels that you guys seen that I make like millions of views, that I'm like skinny and whatever, and I get jacked, or I'm broke, and then I get money. Usually you can do like 1 or 2 of these a day. These reels, they don't sell anything. You're not gonna get really clients from them. They're just not enough to like build trust, but they're enough to just capture attention. And then if you're good on the other aspects, you will build trust later on with them. They're just kind of like a door where you just get so much free attention, and then you just collect them in your kind of like space where they watch your stories. They might go to your YouTube and they'll be like, this guy is actually, you know, way different than I thought. So a lot of my followers come from these transformation reels personally, but I don't think they're not enough. Like I sometimes make like millions of views like this. I don't see any more booked calls. I don't see like my business just exploding. But the thing is, I just collect these 5 or 10,000 people in that week, that they're just slowly gonna now start to engage with my brand. And over the next 3 or 6 months, they might start watching my stories. They might go to my YouTube. They might watch my VSL. They might go back to YouTube and stories, and they just go into the system. So later down, maybe 3 months, 6 months, they might become a client, you know. And also it just looks better to have more followers. So I don't think that's like that bad, as long as, again, this is not how you're posting. You know, post something that it's also very niche down, talking stuff and whatever, but we talk about that. I just giving you like a strategy to follow. So 3 talking, 2 transformation, and 2 lifestyle. So lifestyle can be showing your personality in your life, dog, family, muscles, health, where you go, how good you live, or whatever, how happy you are. You can tell a joke, you can show your girlfriend, your family, whatever you want. It's just lifestyle. It doesn't need to be only like flexing a car or like a Rolex. You know, this is not the only lifestyle you can show. You can just show like family and whatever. You can be completely different, but just show lifestyle, something from people would like to see a personal side of you that usually most people don't really show. They just talk only about business, make money, or how to get in shape, how to do bicep curls, you know. So just show a little bit more a different side of you. That's kind of like the thing. So 3 talking a week, 2 transformation, 2 lifestyles. So Monday I do transformation reel, the ones that, you know, I just talk you. If you can use like a viral sound, or if you catch a trend, makes a big difference. The good thing is like the transformation reels, if you don't have a good transformation in terms of like pics of you like working at McDonald's, or like just looking broke or super skinny, it's just not really gonna work, to be honest. Even if you get a trend, you need to just have good content. So this works for some people. Just make sure it's in a trend, the sound is trending, and you really have good before and after pics or videos. That's just the most important. The talking reel, you just guys know, this includes everything, just speaking, talking about your niche, giving free value, or motivational talks, or just whatever. And then the lifestyle Wednesday. And then you just start repeating transformation, talking, lifestyle, talking. That's it. It's just very simple. If you follow that, it's just very simple. It's not specific for a niche. You can really change it. Like if the talking reel, if it's for a fitness, obviously you talk about something about fitness. Or, you know, if it's business, talk about business. Lifestyle, same thing. Lifestyle can be just you looking good around the beach or whatever, or you just showing that you have some money or whatever. That's just the same thing. So anything is just bonus how to create just keyword content ideas. This is some extra bonus for ideas. Is, you know, really you can only make, if you think about content, about like 4 things. You can really just tell your own story. That is just the same thing. You can't really change it much because it's your own story. You can The second thing is you can just give value in your niche and space. You can show lifestyle, or you can just talk about mindset, motivation, journaling, relating to like business and stuff like that. So that's really the four things if you think it's not that complicated. You can either tell your story, give value in your niche, lifestyle, and you can just talk the mindset and motivation so that everybody repeats the same thing. Like work hard, walk in, like out this bush. You can just say it in a different way, obviously. But that's really how you can talk about. There's nothing else you can talk about. So I'll give you some examples of like why do you want to achieve this? What is your biggest motivation? How do you want your clients to feel after working with you? So this is like things that if you put around your brand, it will just make your brand like a cool, a little bit broader. So like, why do you want to achieve this? Like, why do you want to build your page? Why do you want to help people? Like, you need to have like a bigger goal. Like, for example, Lyndon, he's on a mission to get like what? Can you say it again?
Yeah, it's a mission to take 1,000 people to 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah. So, it is good to just create something like that of like a deeper reason. Like Andrew Tate, he's like, I attack against the matrix. It's us against them. I'm helping you guys escape the matrix. It's a deeper mission than just money. So either you even really have it or not, just try to have something so people understand, okay, why is he really trying to help me? You need to be able to kind of like explain it on a deeper level. If you ask like Andrew Tate this, you'll be like, I don't need more money, but I really want to help people because this is my deeper purpose. I don't care about money. I just want to help people escape the matrix or whatever. So it's the same thing, these are just good questions that will stronger the brand and build like more like a cult following. And also 5 thing is very important is content that just comes from objections with potential clients or questions with already existing clients. So these are really the 4 main things. And then the 5th thing is just things that, let's say you're on a sales call, somebody, tell you that's why they don't buy. You can just make a content about that and make a story, make a reel. He was scared or say, bro, I don't think it's the right time to join that. You just make a story and say, well, the right time is never going to come. I used to always wait for the right time and then I was just wasting my life. So you need to make the right time. You can say something like that. So how these people who are not just him, but a lot of followers who are probably in the similar situation that you have, will just relate. So, a lot of the things you can make content from like, just objections or from already existing clients and questions that they just give you on the calls. So, reviewing your call conversations you have with people that ask for coaching. Why do they feel they aren't good enough? What is holding them back? How do they view themselves in relation to their desired outcome? Like things like that. So take also your most common sales calls, objections, and just turn that into content. That's very good. So just make sure, okay, what is the most thing that you get on your calls? Just start making content about that so you destroy these objections. So when the new people come in, they probably wouldn't have them because you talk about these objections every day. So take notes of the most impactful clients, one-on-one call or group calls that you have. So questions from your current clients and things that they're currently struggling with. So when you hop on a one-on-one call, when somebody asks you, okay, bro, how should I try this, but it's not like, just type the question and then you can make content about that. You hop on a group call and the people start asking you questions like you guys now are going to, let's say, ask me something. I can just write it down and then I can make content about that on YouTube, make a whole YouTube video, make a reel, make a story about that. So that's also like these ideas for content you just get from your people already existing. So it's very easy. So you should, like if you really understand that, you should never run out of ideas because it's just, so many ways you can make content from, to be honest. So that's like really the first thing when it comes to there's just Instagram and the whole thing. I have another one which is more to stories, but do you guys have any questions? I'll just go to that. It's probably gonna take this like 15 minutes and then that'll finish. But do you guys have any questions regarding this, like first any of these things?
I have one question. So basically, what's the main difference between the reels and the stories? So I know the stories are more like for selling,
Yeah.
post more of them.
Yeah.
But what's like the main difference? How do I make the difference between, let's say, reels where I bring value or talk about
Yeah.
mindset things, value in my niche and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and the stories, the daily stories?
The only difference is really that the reels can be a little bit more entertaining in a way of you can add edits, you can add captions, you can add music, you can add like a background. So let's say you're talking about something and there's like a bureau of, let's say you're walking with the Versace while you're talking about how to get rich, rather than just staying around and just talking. That's really the only difference, to be honest. It's really...
These are like more raw, right?
Yeah, stories are raw because it would just not look authentic if you just post stories with captions and music on the background. It would be like, what the fuck is this? Kind of strange, Yeah. Stories are more raw. Just try to keep like a journey. That's why I talk about the stories. But let's say try to start from the morning, document your morning routine, then going into work, and just it takes like 30 seconds to just make one story, but just make something to just kind of like document your day. So everyday stories should look like a documentation of your day in some way or another. Wow, reels is just more random in a way, but the thing is from your stories, like a lot of my reels, they just come from my stories. So let's say I post 20 stories, the stories that I think are really good, I save them, and then I just have this talking story. And now to make it a little bit more entertaining for a reel, I can just add captions, I can add B-roll while I'm talking, I can add some music on the background to just make it more entertaining because people will just scroll. So that's really the only difference. Reels should be a little bit more entertaining, you can add more editing, you can add more things to them, while stories are just raw. But it's really not much difference. You give the same value, you talk about the same things, no difference really. Any other questions you guys have or anything?
Yeah, what's the difference between the content marketing? So the content marketing is like where it was before,
Yeah,
and what you want to achieve,
yeah,
and how your life is now. And you said like the daily content is like the value stuff, right?
yeah.
So
The
when you
middle.
post the content marketing and the daily post, you post daily, obviously, but when you post the content marketing?
Wait. Can you repeat again? Like so?
So here we talk about content marketing.
Yeah.
We talk about bad things that used to be and how good life is now.
Yeah,
So we never talk about the middle. So the daily content is the middle,
yeah.
and the content marketing, like when do you do it? Do you do it like once a week?
When you mean just CTAs, just telling your guys join my coaching, is that what you mean? Like
Yeah.
just CTAs, yeah. I mean, when it comes to stories, I just usually like to do, I'll call them like more like hard and more like light like CTA. So the light CTA can be something literally just talking on your story, super raw, and be like, guys, if you have, let's say it's been like 60 days, or let's say you've been trying to make money the last 6 months, you've probably done nothing, you've tried alone so many times. That's the same mistake that I've made. I didn't really had any success until I got a coach. You can make something like that. And then it's like, if you really are somebody who is a hardworking, who knows who can work hard, but just doesn't have the blueprint, just shoot me a message. I'll give you the blueprint. And if you're, I can show you what to do. I can do the work for you, but if you can do the work, you will have results. So if you're interested, just shoot me a message and let's talk. Let's say that's more like a more slow. You don't really do something like like I'm looking for 5 new guys to get in shape. Like this is more like a big super push that maybe you can do like once or 2 times a week max. Yeah.
Something that also works well that I have had a lot of success with is where you do very indirectly, right? So you say like,
Yeah.
you do a poll. You do a poll, hey, what are you struggling with? Do you need knowledge? Do you need motivation? And they'll answer the poll.
Yeah.
Your team of media bookers will write to them, hey, I saw
Yeah.
you're struggling with this. And then you do the CTA personally in the DMs.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the hard, too
Yeah.
salesy stories.
Yeah. You can do it.
indirectly.
Yeah, you can do it, but if you do too much, then all your followers are just seeing it. It's like, what the fuck? But if you do it in a way of like, you can even do it so under low key, like you can just talk, again, like I just said, you can just not even do a proper CTA. You can just say like how you struggle with that, and then you didn't have any success, and then you got a coach, and then you get results. And you can just end it there. And then people will be like, oh shit, maybe I need a coach, let me message. It can be super low key that they don't even realize that you're doing them all the time. But to be honest, like, all your stories and content in a way should be like you're just trying to sell them. Like you never really say something that doesn't get them to where you want to get them. It's kind of on a sales call, you ask them the right questions to get the conversation in the right direction. Otherwise the conversation just goes in like some shit direction. So same thing with stories. Anything you really say and goes from your mouth should be in a way either inserting like a belief in their mind or something that will make them closer to just buying your program. So it's our sales in a way, but like he said, you can just do pulls, or you can be like, let's say for a fitness, are you tracking your macros or are you still swacking? And you can just pull, and then you just contact everybody and just then make the CTA on the content. So
So the more indirect ones, you can basically do them
every day. You can do every day. I do every day. At least one indirect every day, and then one super direct like, let's say I just even write down more specifically what is my, or even if you just show clients results, you just show some success story and you can just write down, DM me ready or DM me if you want to start, DM me if you're ready. You can even do that. It's like, you can do so many things for like, so that's really, any other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, do you do anything with like pin posts? Like
Yeah.
you have like pin posts in your profile?
Yeah, I'll just talk about, I think I should have added here, but think it's in the other document, but yeah, pinned posts, you pretty much create like a micro VSL. So whatever is your long form VSL, you just create like a short version of that. So if your long is 15, 20, 30 minutes, I don't know how long is it, but you just create like a micro version of that. You can make it like 16 seconds and you just pin it on your profile. It's really just that. Just try to go through the whole VSL as fast as you can. Mainly just show proof that you're why you should listen, and just go to maybe some glance results and just go into like some booking account or something, and you can just be in the DMs, or maybe you can do it to a free course. That's better, and then from there, you know. So that's how to just do like a micro VSL version of that and just pin it on your story, and maybe the next thing can be some like you're actually not bad, but the thing is you can pin some things on your posts like here, and also you can like now I have pinned the mastermind, but it's here I will change it. But here you can also pin different things. For example, I don't know why. What the fuck? I don't know if.
You can pin to your main grid and you can pin to your real grid, so that your main grid kind of looks slightly different than your real grid if you wanted to. You know?
People actually access the data.
I mean, I personally just tend to go to feeds. I don't click over the reels that much, but I mean, everyone has different content user behavior, you know. So maybe other people do go direct to reels. I tend to go to the post and hope that everything's in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like usually, like this is because now I just changed it for the mastermind. This is something that it's about my offer. That was just currently the mastermind, but that should be like the micro VSL or whatever is your offer about. Here I just have something where I talk about my story, just talk about how I moved to Thailand and all these things. And this is just I have something that's just flexing, just lifestyle and stuff like that. This is kind of like a good thing. It's like you can slightly change this, but I would say have one thing pinned about who you are and your story. One thing like a micro VSL where you have some type of a CTA where you give them some call to action to like get to your free course or something, just have it pinned. And then one thing can be, you know, something that will maybe build more trust. It's good. You can have a picture like you have like this speaking to an event, or you have a picture with somebody famous who's in your space that you will gain trust, or you're with your family, you bought your mother something. All these things subconsciously just build so much trust. So I'll do something like that. Either if you have a picture with somebody that you think will add to your brand trust, or like things like that. If you've seen guys usually do, like you bought like your girlfriend a bag, or you retire your mom, or whatever. It's just whatever is it, or you can just have a family picture, something like that. Just builds more trust. I'll put it. I think it's not bad. So that's really it when it comes to the pin posts. And you can also pin things here, and then you can pin different on your reels. So you can change them. That's what I usually do.
But I think that only talking about the beginning and end is like a big shift for me. Like that was a huge, powerful takeaway.
Yeah.
Like I never looked at it like that.
Yeah.
But it's the hero's journey, as they sort of say, you know?
Yeah.
And then documenting the middle.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, that's really like what I do in the stories, and then all the content just comes from there. And even for YouTube, you can just get everything out ideas for YouTube, but obviously YouTube is just way different. That's why we're gonna leave. You can have ideas for YouTube videos and you'll still make no views because your thumbnail is shit, your title is shit, you're not whatever. It's just so much more things that go through. So that's why it doesn't matter what story you have. Nobody's gonna watch the YouTube video. Here it's a little bit easier in a way. You still need to be entertaining and stuff. But YouTube, you really need to just put more attention, and otherwise it's just not gonna work. That's why it's more like beginners friendly, so just start with Instagram. But yeah, any other questions, you guys? Yeah.
When it comes to choosing your brand and your niche, do
Yeah.
you take into account the competition?
I mean, yeah. I mean, in terms of like just copying what they do or what?
Like, do you research the market to see, let's say you want to become a fitness coach?
Yeah.
See there are so many fitness coaches already.
Yeah. That's why you niche down as much as you can. So you just try to niche down and just, I mean, whatever niche you pick, you will have competition. It's very hard you don't. If you don't, then you'll fucking print so much money probably. But the thing is, yeah, you always have. Just that's why it's good to niche down and pick a specific niche. Let's say like him, for example, he's just traveling. So he can pick like travelers who are like business owners who are traveling around the world, who don't have time to train and eat, and also our skin is like very, very specific. So it will be really not much competition of guys who are doing the same thing. So that's the only thing. And then you can just check the competition. Usually if you're that niche down, it wouldn't be more than like 5-10 guys, to be honest. Worse. So, you can just check what they're doing. You can give ideas. What I like to do is I like to look more on like the back end in terms of stuff, in terms of like, let's say their fulfillment, is it better, what is in their course, is their product better than mine? Things like that is good if you can figure out. For example, that's the easiest thing you can create your product. If you're overthinking so much, how should I make my content, my course or my program so good? Just go and pick the best guy that you think have the best program that's in your niche, buy his stuff and just see what's inside and just replicate it and just add more things, make it better even, you know. That's like this thing. So the competition, you can get a lot of things from them. Just don't try to like copy them and be like them and like sound like them too much and just really, that's just, you know, it will work to some point, but you just need to be yourself at the end of the day, you know. So that's the only thing. Yeah. So any other questions you guys have? Yeah.
Try and go back to the content part. You know, where you said there were like four different
Yeah,
things
yeah,
you
yeah.
talked about. I think you scroll up.
I think it was here.
I don't know where it was. It was somewhere.
Back up.
Hmm.
I think it was-
Down.
More up.
Oh.
It said like there are four things you can do. with content about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a good one there. Let me just.
Yeah, let's see.
as well.
Yeah.
So this one is a no-brainer, the transformation, right? This one makes sense, but something that worked like very well for me, especially if you guys do whatever you do, is us versus them. Russell Brunson, he kind of talks about
Yeah.
this. It's where you like, for example, if you're a fitness coach, you're like, it's us against the vegans. It's us against the meat
Yeah.
eaters. It's
Yeah.
us against the companies who do
Yeah,
something
yeah,
wrong with
find
the
an
process,
enemy.
right? You want to
Yeah.
have enemies. Like for me, in Denmark, it's the woke culture. It's the
Mm.
people who say there's 60 genders and all this bullshit. So people rally behind me and they agree so much with me, they're like, okay, I gotta get this product as well. So for me, that would be a thing I would add where it's like
Yeah.
us versus them. Who are your enemies? What are you standing for, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The matrix, the systems, you know.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the
Exactly.
thing.
Shitty
Yeah.
marketers.
There you go.
Yeah. It's like there's so much. Let's say coaches. They talk about that, like how our coaches are bullshit and how their programs are so bad. So that's now he's gonna be the new coach who's gonna have the best program. Let's say you can like Lyndon can talk about bro how the other YouTube guys are really like just not really doing anything. So you know whatever. So you can kind of like there see some coaches doing that or like fitness. You just talk something about how these fitness coaches don't understand stuff that they're talking about how. You need to eat like whatever, but you just don't agree on that. So you're like, gosh, the people who agree, they kind of go on your side. But it's just, the same, like you just said, something like vegans, whatever is it that eating in your niche you can use around. But that's just,
Get haters. Get haters as well.
yeah, that's the thing. That's why you just don't try to win everybody. Just pick these people, pick your people, and just go with that and just don't care about
If
those.
haters should also have many loyal followers, you know.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one, which is the stories. Go really quick. So Instagram stories, you know, are where you're going to, you know, be doing most of your selling when it comes to Instagram. Obviously, all of your stories, story content is the middle of funnel. Nurturing content is so this is where the really money it's made is in your Instagram stories. Each day you should be posting, the core 5 story pillars blended with direct, talking head nurturers like layers, the CTAs in between, stuff like that. So the goal is, the stories is to cross the bridge between what you talk about. You should always talk about, where you were and where you are now, but you should always, show what you got you there. So, let your process, mindset, training, routine that you had that got you there, the diet, the actions, the mind, etc., the skills, the knowledge, whatever got you there, you just, that's show the middle, lead by example, that's pretty much. So the more consistent you are with your stories, the more qualified you become in the viewer's head to be their coach. So if you can't be consistent with your stories or reels or posts, how will you be consistent with them? So that's kind of like a thing also I've seen is like, if you're really not missing your reel every day or your posts or your stories or your YouTube videos, if you just show them that consistency vibe, I think it's really important for a coach because they will just naturally be like, he can't even do this. How is he gonna, be consistent with me? They, in like the back of their head, they kind of like think like that. So I think that's also like an important thing that helps, that you can just talk about like things that you have. For example, usually a lot of coaches, they talk about how they never have like things on place and everything is so clean because how you do one thing is how you do everything. That's just good because people are going to think, maybe that's how you do his coaching. So, it's like just all these small things that you just insert like beliefs in your followers' heads that will help you potentially like buy your stuff. So any small things like this matter, just saying anything. So the 5 core, story pillars you should aim to hit daily. Layer CTA, so let's just talk about in between each of these posts, talk about what it means, why is it important, and why do you post it, how they can use it in their advantage, and why is it valuable, for them. So the way you truly make yourself a coaching figure is by coaching, not by acting like you're a coach. So you should be already coaching them on your content, on your stories, on your reels. Like, you should just become their coach in their head way before they even bought something. So that's why I'll give you out the free value for free. Just become that coach figure in their life before they even bought from you. So that's how they perceive you as that person, and they're not like, I didn't know it's paid or some shit like that. So posting cool videos doesn't make you a coach, but educating and your audience, helping them solve problems and providing, content that they can really lay on to push them through, hard times, does make you a coach. So do the work that they aren't willing to do, and set the example so that they can become, the foundation, and you can become the foundation that they can rely on. So a lot of guys are like, bro, Alex, your morning stories help me so much because I have problems with waking up early, but when I see your stories and I also want to wake up with you or whatever, I train every day, so they train every day. So I become like, their support, they're like a coach figure, like a, layering method that, again, they can rely on, they can, so it is good, it just motivates them. You can becoming like a coach in their head before they even bought anything from you. So the more you sacrifice for your viewers, the more they become reliant on your content to start to associate you with being their coach before they even bought. The best way to lose the trust of your audience is to constantly call to action, like a purchase from them without using the layering method that I'm about to talk you. So again, if you're just doing call to actions but nothing really else around that, it's just gonna look a little bit weird. So that's why now I will just show you how to really do it in a way where it just doesn't look like you're just constantly trying to sell people, but you are in reality constantly trying to sell, let's be honest. So most business coaches will tell you to post call to actions every single day, but we all know the quote, like, action speaks louder than the words. So why would you consistently tell why they should buy when you can consistently show them why they should buy? So every time you post a story, viewer, you should, reiterate and connect with your viewer. For example, they might see in your post in your morning doing push-ups or, your clients' results, but how does that relate to them? So use your voice to bring the gap between them. So let's say like a morning post. So it's like, let's say a promise. So this is going to be stories that signals your audience and Europe, getting after it. We want to ensure their heads that you're disciplined, people trust these, who keep themselves to. So let's say like if somebody is very overweight, if he can't even keep the word to himself, you're just gonna be a little bit not that much willing to trust him if he's saying stuff and then he's not doing it or whatever. So and if you don't hold your word, that's just not good if you're like a coach here. So whoever like holds the most trust makes the most money. Delivery, there are tons of different ways you can deliver this. Here are some of the things. So a video of a quote in a book, reading, early morning stories at the gym, good morning, like whatever, motivation to just start the day, to just example, just morning routine. So I'll just give you, this is like some things. Now, for you guys can be different. You might not go to the gym, you might not wake up. It doesn't matter, what is it? You can wake up at 1 p.m., just post that you wake up at 1 p.m. Just literally just do whatever you're doing. You don't need to copy me, but just have some type of a morning thing that you post in the middle that you're consistent with. So this is the mid process. So this is not just with the morning, this is with everything. So you just lead, you just show them doing something, whatever is it, then you just relate. So you just talk about why are you doing that thing, and then you just attack them. That's like pretty much the call to action. It's like most coaches, they just only do the attack. They just don't do anything else. You just do call to action, but nothing really else. So if you do it this way, sounds just way better. So it's like, let's say lead, showing you're doing, the thing, push-ups, burpees, journal, early morning, walking, going to the gym, whatever is you want to show. So relate. Talk about why you're doing these things and why this is significant. So if, let's say the 225 wake up grounds me and sets the tone for every single day. I make sacrifices before anyone else is up that can hold myself to a higher standard and live a life that I choose. So whatever. So it's like how their inability to do things they want because of their lack of mindset process. So for example, you can be like, let's say you're tracking your macros and you just show tracking your macros, but they'll be like, why is this guy, like, what is this? Like, what is this picture? What is he eating? Why is he filming his meal? Then you just say, all right, guys, I'm tracking my macros. I eat this. It's down. You just relate. Talk about, why you're doing it. So tracking your macros is so important because of this. And then you just, the next story, you just attack. Like, but why are you not tracking your macros? You say you're going to be getting in shape since the last 6 days, but you probably don't even know how much grams of protein you're eating. Like, you're not really serious about it, and then you just do the call to actions. So that's just way better than you just do call to actions. Like, I'm looking for 5 guys to wear it. Same thing is for business. You just do something whatever is about your work. You just talk, why are you doing it? Okay, I'm doing this. Let's say I'm doing copywriting because in this way, this is like very valuable skill that enables me to make money or whatever. You just relate, why are you doing it? And then you just attack them on the next story. It's like, why are they don't just learn a skill and just start making money and just leave the 9-to-5 job, just being stuck. So it's just the same thing, just lead, relate, attack, lead, relate, attack. That's just with anything. It doesn't matter what story is it. I usually like to do so. Wisdom post. That's an example of stories you can make as well. So first thing, you can just do morning routine. Usually motivation in the morning, your morning process, that's already 2-3 stories. Then second thing, you can do this, the wisdom post. You can just literally take a picture, put some cool music behind, or just literally take a picture of your face and just write down like a text. That can be, you don't need to speak. You can just write something that you just read from a quote. Maybe you watch a podcast, maybe you watch like even like a TikTok and you're like, ah, shit, that made sense. And you can make something from it and just post it. You can also post, client work. So again, this doesn't need to be only when you have a client result and somebody's like, yo, bro, thank you for making money. You can do anything. Just show that you're working with clients. Just show like a picture of you on a cow, like whatever is it. Just show that you have clients, that you're working with them and stuff like that. So take a picture of your computer on coaching calls with your clients and let your audience, know what you guys covered, what they missed out. Take a picture of what you're working on for your clients and let your audience know what this is. Let's say you're working on the 2.0 version of your program or whatever is it. So you can just show anything like that. So the best part of my day coaching my guys in the most simple way to break free right now. Take some example, just doing some things like that. Motivation, source drop, Monday and Friday you do Q&A. So this is another stories you can do. You can just simply, if you talk something and you just purely give value, what I figured out is you can just, if you've seen it above, like sometimes when I do, it's like, and I just don't just talk. If you want to make it a little bit more entertaining, because we just talk like how reels and stories, the only difference is reels are just more entertaining. If you want to make your stories more entertaining, just literally you can just type like this, the 2-minute rule. And people will be like, what does this mean, the 2-minute rule? So they want to watch the story, way higher chance to watch it. The more I learn, the more I realize how little I know. And then it just makes you watch the story because it might be a 60-second story. And if they just watch 2 seconds, they skip it, they'll skip everything. They won't watch any stories. So these things, it's a good hack. It will make your stories more entertaining. And I'll do usually, every Friday or Monday, 2 times of the week, bare minimum, I'll just do Q&A. So you don't need to only talk about getting value. You can literally on your Q&As sometimes just talk lifestyle, the biggest bullshit ever. Like don't think that Q&As needs to be only about you talking about something smart. It's mainly about just, you can make a couple Q&As where you give value or where you're trying to sell people on your offer, but also make a lot of questions that are kind of like just fun. Like, let's say here, I'm just asking my girlfriend thoughts on weed and some shit like that. It's just gonna, again, give you that connection or something with people. They'll be like, shit, that was cool, whatever. So you don't think that every time you make a Q&A, you need to answer some super smart questions and like sound like genius. You can literally talk about the most stupid shit on your questions. Just spam a big Q&A and answer to like 20 things. So just more like lifestyle stuff. Like again, I just give you an example. How do you get lean? Like this is a value. How do you make money? Or how exactly you get clients for this. Like you can make this, but also make some, more like not that genius reels, because you don't really need to be like genius on every story or every Q&A. Clients wins, obviously, like everybody knows that. Everything is a client win. Somebody sends you a screenshot. So whatever somebody do, just take a screenshot. They can be, bro, I up 20 pounds on my bench, or bro, I made whatever, or like I'm getting more leads. It doesn't need to be only a video where somebody is telling you like, you probably, some of you guys who are in coaching, you have so much testimonials, and I used to have back then, but I just forget to screenshot them, I just forget to find them and all these things. But every little text somebody sends you, it is kind of like a testimonial that you can show. You just screenshot the text or whatever, and you just post it on your stories, literally. So macros, nutrition, that's something else you can do, what you eat, and then you just explain. Like again, let's say like I'm eating this, I'll just give you another example. So, lead, relate, attack. This is so important. So it's like you just, let's say this, I just give example for fitness, but this can be for business, for anything. You just take a picture of my ex. You can just, guys, take a picture how you do copywriting. And if people be like, what the fuck is that? Like, why is this screen? What is he working on? What is this? Let's say I just take a picture of my ex, and they're like, show tracking your macros, cooking or whatever, eating. And then most guys, they just do that and they just stop. But then make the next story related to that and just Now relate, explain the significance of tracking your macros, how nutrition is 70% of your physique, like, and show consistency with this. Like consistency over everything builds trust with your audience. Again, who cares if your knowledge, if you can, apply the knowledge that you're using. So again, you just relate, like why you're tracking your macros. Why is it so important? Because your body, the main thing, 70% is the that, blah, blah, blah. You just talk something, explain them, because they'll be like, why is he just, what is the point of that? So now they understand, that's why he's doing it, and then you just attack out the lack of nutrition. Like, okay, but why are you not tracking your macros, bro? It's like, okay, but why are you not learning a skill to make money? Or why are you still procrastinating? Why are you still drinking or doing drugs or whatever? So just, lead, relate, attack. You can be like, lead, you just show a picture of, let's say you're a dating coach, show a picture of your girlfriend, then you just relate, you explain why you have a girlfriend, how you used to have bad relationships, how now you have a good relationship, and then you attack. It's like, yeah, guys, but you with your relationships, you're doing these things, that's why you're whatever. So that's pretty much your attack, your call to action.
I kind of like that attack because it feels almost like if I was at the point where it had got too much, the internal pressure and the mention of those emotional things in the attack would push me over there.
Yeah.
I buy them, I take action myself,
Yeah.
so I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like when I say attack, I don't mean like a CTA, I don't mean like a DM, like I have 5 spots, DM me whatever to buy. You don't do anything. You don't tell them to buy you. You don't tell anything. You just attack them of like, why are you not doing it, bro? Like you've been wasting your life the last years. You haven't done shit or whatever, and it just ends there. You don't need to end it with like 5 new spots.
Makes me want to take action just by you picking at the things that I know.
Yeah. You just kind of attack them a little bit, judge them. They're like, shit, bro, I really need to do something, and then you just stops there. So the guy may start watching your content. He might go to the YouTube. He might watch your VSL, and he gets into the things. So he will get in the funnel sooner or later anyway, because you spark some emotion with that into him. Whereas in other people, they will not do it. So you will be the kind of like the only person on his stories that he's focused makes him some type of emotion when he watches you. Consistency with the training, whatever, same thing. Show a video of your training. Like, okay, then talk about why you still train. For example, I always talk like I already have my shape, but I still train because of the mental aspects. That's why I train, and then just attack. Like you're not training to be, for the best ability. You're not even tracking, your workouts. Do you even have, what is this? Direct workouts. So it's like you're just asking, like, do you even track your workouts? Do you have direct things? They'll be like, shit, I don't have, bro. Like, I really need to get a coach. Like I said, I'm gonna get in shape 6 months ago. Now they realize, shit, I'm not even tracking my workouts. So how am I gonna gauge? So they're like, shit, I really need to get a coach or whatever. Same thing with money. Like you say, bro, you're gonna make money, but now you're just still smoking weed every day and just watching some TV shows, and it's like, shit, and it just stops there. You don't need to be like, shit, buy my coaching after that. Just leave it there and then continue your day with other things. Just talk about some different topic. Lifestyle. That's really the other thing you can post on your stories. So lifestyle doesn't only mean money. Like here, and just show. Like your lifestyle with some people, friends, girlfriend, you can just show you're just laughing, telling a joke, just being funny, just something, running. Like lifestyle doesn't only mean like you're just flexing a Rolex or a WAM, but it's an important part to just show like a cool lifestyle that just gives a deeper understanding of your personality. Then just lead, relate, attack, explain them, like show them, okay, why are you doing it? Like blah, 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 same things. 6th thing you can do on your stories on Instagram, you just drive traffic to long-form videos on YouTube. So that's like the biggest thing I think also helped me is try every single day to have some type of a YouTube video. I don't need to make a YouTube video every day, but I can drive traffic to YouTube videos every day. It doesn't cost me anything to just make like how I changed my whole life forever with this one single small decision. Learn how. It's a YouTube video. It's nothing else. Like if this video, like whatever, it's like just watch. So like every day I might put a video who's 3 months old or 6 months old. If I think it's good, I'll just put it. Why not? And I'll just promote it. I'll even maybe pick up my phone and just be like, here's like my full story. One of the most important videos I've ever made. I think this is like on the Wazio or something. So, you can just do like this. You can type some text, something interesting, or you can just take a screenshot of the YouTube video, or you can just make it like that with a link. Use ClickFunnels, LinkedIn. So when they click on it, they actually get redirected in their login account on YouTube. If you don't use LinkedIn, they click on the link, they'll go from some, Safari thing, I don't know, they will just not be logged into their YouTube. So that's a good thing, just use LinkedIn. And then you can also, when you use these links, you can track how much clicks, how much traffic you're getting from Instagram directly, and you know exactly the data, which is good. So just do that, just drive traffic every day. That's so important. So with YouTube, like if you're not gonna do YouTube every day because you're lazy, but hope you do it after Lyndon's thing. But if you're not gonna wanna do it, because I get it, maybe for some of you, you just don't wanna spend that time in the beginning. You maybe still focus on your business. You're kind of like now just going into that stuff. Just make like 20, 30 YouTube videos and just have them there and just constantly drive traffic to them. It's like just way better than nothing. You know, it just even 10 videos, just have something there so you can just drive traffic and it just have content to watch. Because sometimes he might be in like the mood, he might be in the right mind of state, and he just goes, watches your YouTube videos. Before that, you said something on your stories like that made sense. And then now you say this YouTube video, and it's like, shit, bro, let me watch it. And then it's like a 30-minute video. Then he watched the recommended video. He watched another. He might spend like 5-6 hours. Usually, like somebody to trust you enough and to buy, they need around like an average 6 hours to spend with you. This is why YouTube, obviously, is just way better, because it's a long-form content. People spend time with you way faster, and they spend more time. So that's why, like, at least have 10 videos, which on average that would be like 5, 6, 10 hours. Have at least like 6 to 10 hours content on YouTube, bare minimum. That's like worst case if you don't want to make videos like every week or whatever. So just to constantly drive traffic to the same videos. Another example, call to actions. That's what I talk about. This is like a hard promo. For example, I just give something. I think this is like with the fitness coaching. yeah. But anyway, so just see with Ivo, DM ripped, whatever. Look, movie chapter. It's like this is like super hard call to action. When it comes to the business, same thing. You just show like a success story, somebody made money or whatever. And then this is more like a soft call to action. Like you can even delete that, and you can just don't even have that, or you can like, you say like a push or something like that, or you just attack them. You don't need to. That's like more like a soft call to action. You don't need to be like every time like DM me whatever. I have 5 spots. You can do that once a week maximum. But when it comes to like this more soft call to actions, you can just do something every day. You don't have to do. I think that's related. When it comes to the stories, let's see. I think that's literally the structure that I use. So, sure. So first thing, this is literally the story structure. So because I tell you a lot of guys, this is like literally like a structure that you can follow every single day. So first thing, you start posting, you wake up, you just first stories, you just document your morning routine. That's the easiest. It's so easy to make these stories. That's such an easy story. You can just spend 1 second, just take a screenshot of the book that you're reading in the morning. That's just, even if you want, keep it as simple as that. Usually, like I understand, maybe some of you guys don't want to check your phone in the morning and stuff like that. So what I like to do is I just put my phone on airplane mode. So I just make the things, but I don't have Wi-Fi. My phone is still on airplane. I just take a photo, I just put my phone back, and after a couple of hours, when I want to check my phone and then I post those things, because I get it, you want to get to work or whatever, you don't want to be on your Instagram and just end up scrolling and watching reels, so that's what you can do in this case. So document your morning routine. That's the first thing you start. And then the thing is, that's so easy. Usually Instagram stories, how they work is if you just start the day with stories, you get the momentum and you just usually start to continue and making more and more and more. If you miss the first 5-6 hours, usually you will just not post stories for the day. It's just how I figure out it works. So then talking story, that's the easiest thing. So first documenting your morning routine, take a screenshot of you working, whatever you're working on, with your morning routine, your gym, whatever you do, I don't know. Then second thing is just talk about a story. One of your stories, personal stories that we just talked about. Fourth thing is just documenting your day from there. So you wake up, morning routine, tell a story, and then just start documenting your day. So maybe after that you show your work more, or you go to the gym after that, or maybe you eat something. Just show what you're doing through your day. Then after that, just tell a story literally again. So this is talking story. So when I say documenting your day, just talk about what you're currently doing. So if you let's say read a book, or if you work, you say, okay guys, this morning I wake up at 1 p.m. and I'm just gonna work on this. I actually wake up early. You can do completely the opposite, it doesn't matter. Just talk about, again, like a quick talking story, 10-15 seconds, why you're doing these things in your morning routine, why you're waking up at that time. Just can be something so simple, it doesn't need to be, let's say you guys told me that you just go to bed at 7 a.m. So you can just say, okay, why I'm staying at 7 a.m. Just pause that and just explain why. That you just felt better at night, you feel like you're more creative. It's simple like that. Just make a talking story. And then people who are maybe the same, they'll be like, shit, I'm the same. And they just, and they just relate, and they're like, oh shit, I also like to work at night. You know, so that's the thing. And then documenting your day, like food, gym, whatever you do after that, work. Then tell a story, how you started, how bad life used to be and how good life is now, how you used to feel before, what problems you had. You just literally, you can talk about your problems. As you talk about the problems you had with copywriting, how when you started you couldn't get clients. You just tell a story. You don't try to sell them. You just tell a story that what was in the beginning. Then from there, give direct value regarding your niche. So after you told a story of whatever, you can just give it direct value. It's like, I couldn't, let's say, get in shape back then because I was doing these things and everybody was making fun of me. You just tell a story and then it's like you just give direct value. But now I get in shape because I eat that way, I train this way, or I learn this skill, so I change my systems in the business in this way. You just give value. Then 17, after that, you give value. People, again, it's so important to just keep the structure. So they have seen you in the morning, they have seen you telling a story, you build, it's kind of like structure in a VSL. If you guys, make VSLs, you can kind of see the same structure without the documenting your morning routine. If you see, you just talking story about like, first you just, this is the first two is just morning routine. Then the second thing is just pretty much, let's say you're just showing what you're doing and you're just telling a story of why you're doing it. So kind of like the same thing, it's like, tell a story how you started. If you see the most VSLs, they start, how you started. You just show a picture. I used to be like this. Then from there, you just give value, which is if it's like a free training, a free course, you just give value. So they're like, shit, this guy actually knows what he's talking. You just give value about fitness, nutrition, business, mindset. So after that, you give value. Then you show testimonials. It's like same kind of like structure if you see a VSL's flow. You just do it on your stories, but in like a natural way, because when everybody is watching a VSL, they're like, shit, this guy's trying to sell me something, I'm going on a website or whatever. You can literally follow the same thing, but on your stories, super raw. Nobody is even realizing that this is a VSL if you do it, and you just do it every day, So that's why if you follow this, just so good, but like you show the testimonials and then you have call to action, literally. And then after that, this is pretty much literally like a VSL structure on your stories. The only thing that is different is you just show a morning routine. That usually, like, why would you show on a VSL? But that's really the only difference. So in the morning routine, and again, it's important because it just gives like a different touch, like consistency. They see you as a coach and stuff like that. Then from there, again, just tell a story, give value, testimonial, call to action. And then from there, should not take you more than like 5 to 10 stories to do all these things. You decide if you want to continue with stories. If you, let's say like, okay, I'm so busy, I don't want to make more stories. If you want, you can make Q&A, lifestyle, friends, jokes, different topics, giving more value if you want. But the thing is, again, you don't need to only be talking about these things, testimonials and things. Just add some, something like tell a joke, show a friend, make a Q&A, whatever. You can talk about different topics. It doesn't need to only be, because if you're only doing these things here, it just kind of gets like, you're just only talking about your morning routine, your business, and then you just do testimonials and call to action. It's just like the same shit. You don't show anything personal from you. So that's why like you need to do that as a bare minimum. And then from there, once you like kind of like finish with that structure, with the VSL on your stories, then you just continue your day with bullshit. And usually by that time, you probably finish most of your work. I don't know how you guys schedule it structure, but for me, I obviously wake up, I do most of my work, and then I usually like in the last 2-3 hours of the day to just chill, maybe go out on a date or just chill with friends or whatever. So I don't really work in the last couple of hours of night. But again, everybody is different, so that's why for me it's easy to, when I'm not working, to just make a Q&A. I can be at like some bar, can be with friends, make a Q&A. I can just show my lifestyle because I'm out smoking cigar with somebody or whatever, just with some friends, just tell a joke. I just continue literally just documenting what's going on in my life. So then this way, I'm kind of like have a small VSL. I have documented my morning routine. I have documented my life, and in between it's my work, it's my value, and it's structured in a way where it's kind of like a VSL, So it's like, if you just follow this structure, it shouldn't take you more than like really like 30 minutes to do it, but it just needs to be calculated. But usually this you can do with like 10 stories, the whole thing. Like 10, 15 stories max. If you see like one story, it's usually like a minute average, let's say 16 seconds. So if you post in 10, 15 seconds, like 10, 15 minutes, So it's not that much time. Maybe it sounds like, it's so much work. Like how can I do this every day on my stories? But it is not that much work. Maybe in the beginning it's a little bit hard, but the thing is, most of these things you're already doing. You're already doing your morning routine. Doesn't take you anything to just make a couple of stories. You're already doing your lifestyle, and you're already with friends and telling jokes and bullshit. Just make some content out. You're already live out with your girlfriend on a date, or you're already like smoking cigars, just make something. You're doing it anyway, so this doesn't really take from your time in a way. This really takes the call to action, the testimonials, and how these things takes. If you don't want to like search testimonials and every day you can just put all your testimonials in like a folder, in like whatever. So every time you don't have to overthink, which testimonial should I do? Let's say you have 30 testimonials, and you can just number them from 1 to 30, and every day you show testimonial number 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you go down to like 30, and then once you're down to 30, it's been a whole month, you can just start repeating the testimonials from 1. Nobody is gonna know. It just looks like everybody is winning all the time. That's why if you see some coaches, they're like everyday testimonials. But you can easily do that. Let's say you have like 60 testimonials, which is not that hard, because not all of these 60 testimonials needs to be like a video of like, yo bro, thank you so much, whatever. They can be a screenshot, somebody payment, somebody viral video, like let's say for you. You just take screenshots of the chats. That's a testimonial, and you can post at least one a day. If you have 30 like that, which is not that hard to get, you post one a day, then you go back from 30, and then you're constantly getting new with the time. So it just looks like you have so much testimonials all the time. So it's not that hard to also do testimonials every day. If you guys think like, I don't have that much testimonials, like you really have, you just need to collect them, spend some time, couple of hours, search about them, collect them out, put them in one folder, and just number them in a way, and just be like, okay, Monday I'm posting this on the 1st, then the 2nd, then the 10th, then the 11th, and you just start posting testimonials every day, and then once you run out, you just start repeating. Once you run out, and then you're constantly stacking new ones as well. So you should be spamming testimonials as much as you can, and call to actions, again, this is soft call to actions, like we just talked with Casper, or like hard, maybe once a week if you want. When let's say you're hosting like a webinar, or you just get them to like a VSL. But the thing is, everything is a call to action. Your call to action for today can be this thing, where you just tell them to just go watch your video. That's a call to action in a way. It's like how I changed my whole life, whatever. It can be like how I get in a shape with whatever. It can be how I build my YouTube channel, whatever. So it can be the same thing, and then they go to that video. The whole video obviously is structured in a way to just sell them. So it's still a call to action, but people don't realize. So every day do it, some type of a call to action. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the whole structure. I can guys kind of like send it to you if you want the same thing. I'll send you on Instagram or Telegram if you guys want it. But yeah, that's kind of. Do you guys have any questions? And yeah, we can just go to Linden after, maybe. Like, yeah.
About, you said it's like a VSL for stories.
Yeah.
If we do like the lifestyle stuff
Yeah.
in the middle, is it okay, or we should do it after the?
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. Just have in mind that you need to finish with the whole script by the end of the day, and you don't miss anything. So yeah, you can do it. But the thing is, naturally, your whole day probably goes like that. So it's kind of like, for me, do you like wake up, you have first lifestyle, and then you work, or do you wake up, you go? Yeah, really, you first like live your life like kind of like. Yeah, I don't know. But usually that's the thing. Is like I wake up, I go to work, and then later on I have my lifestyle. So it in a way just follows the same structure. But if your lifestyle is like, let's say you wake up, you work for 2 hours, then you start living your life, and then you go back to work, and then it's like just, if you do like that, just maybe it still probably work.
So like me, I'm really like entertaining, like
Yeah,
doing some jokes.
yeah.
So I see this like my whole Instagram story is like a TV show,
Yeah.
and like I put some funny things in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. But the thing is, like when I say how this structure, like the thing is, this should happen super early in the day. So it's very rare that you wake up and you're just in such a good mood to start telling jokes. Like if you think the time that that's why I've put it in the back. But it's not, because like usually when you start going out with friends, and when you're out, when you're here, whatever, that's probably when you're in the mood to tell jokes. It's not when you wake up at like 4 a.m. in the morning, you're just so funny and start telling jokes. So that's why for me, maybe you wake up more early, but it doesn't matter when you wake up, you're probably not gonna go into like friends, jokes, and different topics in the morning. So that's why in the morning, I think naturally, if you wanna say some joke, say it, it's not a big deal. But naturally, you probably do something, journaling, whatever, maybe you go to the gym, or maybe you just go straight to work and then you go to the gym, you can just switch it. And then in between the things that you're doing, you just talk about why are you doing it and why are they not doing it. That's the things really. But yeah, if you have a joke in between something, but the thing is, this should take you like 1 minute. So it's like, let's say, this is the documenting your day. I mean, pretty much here you can tell a joke in between. It's like, why not? You're just documenting your day, work, gym, what you do, whatever is it. But usually this is just doesn't include like probably friends and lifestyle. It's more like you go into the gym, you're working at your computer. It's probably how your life is structured. And then tell a story. Like this should take you like 1 or 2 stories. So 2 minutes, tell a story, give direct value, 1 or 2 minutes, testimonial, call to action. All these things takes you like 10 minutes. You just need to sit down and just boop, 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 do it. And then from there it's just, again, just lifestyle, jokes, whatever you want. And then you can make more Q&As. You can give more value if you have ideas. That's just like the bare minimum. But anything more you can add in between, it's not bad. But just don't be like, for example, you just tell your story of how you, let's say, used to be broke or skinny or whatever. You get them more emotional. And then you just tell a joke. And then you just give value about fitness. And then you just do testimonial and call to action. It just doesn't make sense, you know. So at least like follow that structure because it's, you know, again, this is not like, shouldn't take you that long. You just tell a story, bam, give value, bam, testimonial, call to action. Takes 10 minutes to do. It's kind of follow the same thing. And then after that, you can tell stories, you can tell jokes. Here you can tell, but just make sure, yeah, you just don't tell between like maybe 5 and like 8, you know. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. You're just making them so emotional, like, bro, why you're not working out? Like you say this, and then next story is like, well, like, by the way, and then you just say something funny, then a call to action. It just doesn't make, you know. But you probably never do it anyway. But if you in the morning, you feel like, let's say when it's the gym, documenting your day, I say work, gym, nutrition, food. So when you go to the gym, this thing might be like 3 or 4 hours. You might be training with people. You can pick up the camera, you film how you train somebody. Maybe you're with a friend of yours that it's not that jacked. You film him, or he's jacked. You just film him, let's say, how you train him, or just ask him how he got in shape or whatever. So all these things, you can tell a joke in the gym or whatever you're doing. So yeah, you can really do everything. It's just about making sure like from 5, when you start more serious, like how you started and all these things, you just get more serious. Kind of like a VSL structure, and then you just a call to action, soft or not, and then you go. But yeah, any other questions you guys have?
Yeah, like how do you make it not be repetitive? Like you follow the structure every day, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so how do
it's
you
just
make it like not overly repetitive? How do you talk about? I guess you talk about the same things in different ways, right?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, your life is repetitive, so
Yeah.
you can even if you want, to be honest. Let's say in the morning post, when I just say here, usually in the morning, you're supposed to be in more like a state where you read, you're gonna read some quote from a book, you might do something, let's say like here, let's say. So let's say here I just read a book. And that's why like personal development and just having at least some type of a routine, I think it's important because I just read a book and I can just on the next story just talk about the quote or whatever I just, seen. So it's probably gonna be different. There's some specific books that are really good that just gives you like these daily things. You can read like 1 or 2 pages. You don't need to read for an hour. You can just read literally like 5 or 10 pages or even 2 pages. And you just, whatever you just got from that quote, you just make a story. Bam. And that's like you put it in the morning. So it will be different most of the times. So that's like what I mean with the clothes or if you get from whatever.
And
Clans work.
Something you should say as well is the way you differentiate yourself is with the content. So you should post a reel every day. The reel is different. Like sometimes you're flexing, there's some text. Sometimes you're talking. Sometimes it's a story time. Like you can flex and give value with your content. So your routine might be the same, but the content will be different.
Yeah, stories is more to just document your life, like like a reality show with a call to actions in between. So it should be repetitive. Like
and that's for your core audience as well.
Yeah.
You don't have to. They have seen you many times, so they just want you to show up every day.
Yeah.
Alex, if you go to the first one, try and go to the first on the list, no more down, like the first on the framework.
On the 1% story framework, right?
Yeah, at the bottom. I think it's at the bottom. Yeah, there you go. The framework there. The most important thing about this framework for it to work is for people actually to go through it. So just like when you structure a video, you want like a hook. So if you do your morning routine, it will probably catch more eyes if you show 6-pack, if you show a face.
Yeah. First story always gets them. Yeah.
For example, instead of posting bananas, here's what I ate for this morning.
Yeah.
Like if you want me to stop, I need to see your face, I need to see your reel. So catch them like how you would build a DSL. Do a hook on your stories as well.
Yeah. That's why also like this is, even when you talk, like for example, like here, where is it? Like here, that's kind of like just to make a little bit, catch them a little bit more. So you can, like, for example, add something, for example, to just get more attention, like Casper said, let's say if you see here on my story, whatever, like I have posted my push-ups, so I'm doing push-ups, it's kind of like a crazy view, I show it's 4 a.m. and I have like some type of a quote, and there's probably a music. So it is as entertaining as I can make it. But you know, just have in mind that usually your first story, if it's good, all your next stories will get the most views. So if you want to make like a big push, you can wait like 24 hours and not follow this structure. And let's say once a week, just wait until all your stories go away, and then you just start fresh with the first thing being something different, unusual, and you can obviously get way more views. You'll probably get 2 or 3x the views, because if you do that, you will see that your story views go down, you get less views and all that stuff. But it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, it's just more about, again, do you want more views or you want to make more money? You know, that's the thing. So you can do that, and when you want to have views for something specific that you want to push, just wait 24 hours. Don't post any stories. Start with the first story, something really attention capturing, like, you know, you in a nice place, like dress nice, something with like a nice view, and you like literally, I sometimes then like stop literally, and then it's like this, and then on the next story I just talk about whatever it's that I'm doing. Let's say if you see the mastermind or something. So sometimes, yeah, you can do these big pushes like once a week that I say. It's like a super, hard call to action, like a CTA. But every day if you do it, it's just also like kind of like, no, they're just like, what the fuck you're doing? But yeah, that's important. Like your first story, make sure it's something like, if you just do like, let's say, like you say, banana, or you just read some boring book and just film your book, and there's so much text, and people are like, so I want to read, Maybe like, if you're gonna film a book, like zoom down exactly the text, and you just, or like do something, or just type it, and then on the next reel explain exactly what you've learned. It will be a little bit better.
Or post a reel. That's the easiest one. If you post a reel, just make that the first story. Yeah, just make that the first story.
Yeah,
Then you have my attention, and then whatever you say next, and then you can niche it down one more.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, yeah, all your reels, everything you can post it. But yeah, if you just follow like this structure, again, like it is in a way just like a documenting your day, but in a way of like a VSL, where you're just telling your story, you have call to action, it's everything. So it's kind of like a reality show in a way, which again, if you think it's not, it's repetitive, it's just a part of the game. Your life is probably just like that. And the thing is, it's relatable, because not everybody is like working on a mastermind and then next day on a yacht and then next day traveling to this country. It's just normal, If you get to that point and you have such a crazy life, the thing is you'll probably then not do any work. So the back end will struggle with the clients and shit. So that's why I said, somebody said, and you can talk about that, it's like, you see all these coaches constantly like living their life, and I wonder like, where do they have time to coach all your clients? It's like, they never work, they're never on their desk, they're constantly driving their Lambo in Dubai. So when do they work? So that's why I didn't think it's like that bad. And the thing is, if you say it even like this, I usually like to say these things sometimes, they even understand it. But yeah, that's why sometimes it's good to show like stuff like that. You working with them, with your clients, wins stuff, you at your desk, filming that you do some work. You're not only like in the Versace just walking like that and then just, just boom, by my car. It's like, okay, where is this guy? When is this guy working, So that's why, you show some like actual, like, again, boring stuff.
So one more question. So
Yeah.
the stories part, like in the VSS structure, do you like tell the same story every day, or do you like change?
Yeah, you have 5 stories, like I tell you, just write down your 5 best stories. It can be something like how once you got drugged by something and you almost lost your life or whatever, that's one. It can be the one story of how everything started and how you decided to quit your job.
Just
And
find a way to relate it to the product. Right?
yeah. I mean, even if it's not hardly related, it's just your own personal stories. Just have couple. For example, you have probably heard the story that Andrew Tate talks about how one time he almost got stabbed, and but he just got, and he says that on our podcast. So it's like they have nothing to do with anything, but you just remember, because humans remember stories. So nobody remembers a call to action, nobody remembers most of these things, but people remembers like cool stories, especially something like that, which is more like, if I watch like Hamza's, I have like his YouTube thing, like about YouTube, like course. And he always tells, like Hamza, he always recommends like in YouTube, but obviously it's the same in stories. It's like every time you make a YouTube video, you need to have like one really good story of how one day you went there, something happened, and he says like be as literally as honest as possible about your story. Like you should be telling the type of stories that even like you would be like, shit, I hope my mother and father don't watch this shit, you know? Like you can get even like that deep, you know? You should not give a fuck at all. They don't need to be literally so related to your business every time, but it can be something, they just remember it, I don't know. I can come with so much like guys that like I follow and I personally like, and I can just, in my head just comes up so much stories about them because they just repeat the same shit. And it's like, shit, and I just know this. But like say you say know about the sound invitation. So he just said it probably on 100 podcasts. So that's why it's like just repeat the same 5 stories, bro. Like, but just have like, if you probably have way more if you really sit down and you think about the coolest stories of your life. Like that night that you went out with some boys or whatever. Just make sure the stories that you tell relate with the brand and the image that you want to build. Now, if you're in that self-improvement and like whatever, and you just, let's say you're like, I mean, just make sure, it's just not some story that it's
No
like.
stories about owning a bar, Marcus.
Yeah.
Like how you said.
I mean, you can go as far as you want, but I don't know. I think it's, as long as you don't think it damages the brand, just go as far as you can, you know. The more you can show, the better, you know. For me, I don't know what would damage the brand. Even if somebody tells me that, I don't know, bro. Let's say Casper, like, do you think if you talk about your stories, how, you know, you went out and you like fucked some prostitutes or something, that do you think that will damage your brand?
Scare away the moms. They pay a lot, so.
Yeah. So that's like, you just need to ask yourself, okay, is that story too much? Should I keep it private? Or like, we will damage the brand? And if you think we will not, then just go for it, you know. It's just,
Know your ideal client.
yeah. Yeah, is there any questions? Or?
No, but can I propose, like, whilst we sort of give everyone a bit of fresh air and preps, like, is there something you can challenge us to do now? Is there something that we should go off and have a go at? Would you like us to try
Yeah, I mean,
have a crack at something while we've been sort of...
I mean, if you guys want to, that's the thing. For me, if whenever you learn, the sooner you start to implement it, the more you're gonna actually get something out of it. If you just, you know, just be like, and then, you know, you just start implementing it after a month, you'll probably like, you'll just forget it.
Should I propose 2 things then? Maybe
Yeah.
a short refresh, fresh air break.
Yeah.
And then maybe we all have a crack at doing something. And then, I don't know how about you guys feel, but like, I feel like that was really useful for me and took up like a fair bit of mental load in thinking. And I think, you know, your session's gonna just double whammy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
we
like,
should
if
do
you-
a little break.
Yeah, of course.
so, like, what I was thinking was,
Of course.
Like, if you guys are open to it, why don't we allow them the chance to really go at length? Because I know we're going to have a lot of questions and a lot of shit to unpack. And then if you want, like, I would be happy to talk about my shit and the meta scaling tomorrow, after dinner, early in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, to do 3 sessions now is going to be too much mental load.
Yeah.
But, you know, if we can back up yours with yours, man, fuck, that's a day.
Yeah. Let's do that. Maybe like after an hour, we can just start with yours, and that's, or like 30 minutes. That's it. Yeah. Of course. I mean, that's was how it's supposed to do, but I think I just went a little bit longer. But yeah.
Well, then I can always smash out my bit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. That's it. Thank you. Guys. Yeah. All right. Let's go eat. Maybe. We don't have.
Did you do what I'm supposed to do?
Do you guys want to eat or something?
We could order something.
That was good, bro. That was actually
Okay. We'll do.
very, very good.
Yeah. Let's do your like maybe tomorrow like.
In the morning?
We do Muay Thai. Let's go back from the Muay Thai
Yep.
because I have the place. I got coaches and everything. Unless you guys don't want to do the Muay Thai, but yeah.
You've got to follow through on that.
Yeah, and then after that we can come back. The whole point is we need to come back, and then the yacht is at 2:30. So we need to do it in bit before
What
the
time would we be getting back from the Muay Thai?
I mean, the thing is like, I think the thing is like 8 or 9 a.m. it will be in the morning. So let's say we go back at like 12, and then we might have like 2 hours or something. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, like maybe if everyone tomorrow can have like ChatGPT ideally on their phone, that's going to help a fucking load. And Ads Manager open, that's going to help a load because we can start to draft the campaign. And I'll take you guys as far
Yeah.
on the road as we can, and then we can all catch up in Bangkok or online if there's any remaining questions.
Yeah, all right.
But I won't like run over into time where we want to get our shit ready for the yacht, you know?
Yeah,
so I'll
yeah,
keep it short, sharp, and if I need to leave stuff
Yeah.
out, that's cool.
That's good. Or even like after the yacht, but I don't know if the mood will be good. Yeah.
I don't want to listen to that.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Okay, let's do like after like 30, 40, 1 hour. We'll do it with Lyndon. Yeah.
That just got me thinking the beginning and the end.
Yeah. Oh. Was it recording? Yeah, I think. Do you think? I mean, I have recorded mine, so we're good. But do you think it's
This might be, bro.
Oh, the